Congressman.
Let's go to Jack. He's got the Cafferty file in New York. Jack.
Well, maybe he decided we don't need a commission because, to paraphrase John McCain, the economy's strong, right? Fundamentally
fundamentals are strong.
Yeah. Don't need no commission. Economy's strong. Bear Stearns, Lehman Brothers, Merrill Lynch, AIG, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. The crisis on Wall Street's enough to rattle any investor, let alone somebody who is about to retire or who's already living on fixed income. 401ks and pension plans, many of which have exposure to these troubled companies I just mentioned, are taking huge hits as a result of this fundamentally strong economy. Luckily, we have the safety net of Social Security to fall back on, at least for now. Remember 4 years ago, President Bush made a big push to partially privatize Social Security, so we could then individually invest our future with those great minds on Wall Street. It failed back then, but that concept could still very much become a reality because, you see, John McCain also supports supplementing Social Security with private investment accounts. His opponent, Barack Obama, does not. Here's the question. In light of the failures of large financial institutions, is privatizing Social Security a good idea? Go to CNN.com/Cafferty file. Post a comment on my blog.
Let's go back to Jack. We'll talk to him right now because he's got the Cafferty file. Jack.
Question this hour, Wolf. In light of the failures of large financial institutions, is privatizing Social Security a good idea? Juliana writes, you're delusional to think about dismantling our nation's only financial safety net for retirees during this time of economic instability. Privatization is a capitalist concept driven only by avarice and greed. I already highly suspect my hard-earned 401k monies are a pyramid scheme for the rich, so please don't give them our Social Security dollars to squander on risky investments as well. Jonathan writes, Social Security is just that, Social Security. By privatizing Social Security, it does nothing more than remove that fundamental principle upon which it's based. Gail in New York, given the level of ineptitude, deliberate blindness, and general lemming tendencies of most Americans, no. We're just too stupid to do this on our own. Grace writes, if it wasn't for FDR and Social Security, I'd be living with my Republican children. Enough said. MJ writes, why don't we just give McCain and Phil Gramm all our money, and then they can just put us in camps and then ration our food and blankets? No, I don't want them gambling with my Social Security. Haven't they done enough? Stephen says, if you like all the excitement we've seen in our economy, culminating in the last few days' excitement on Wall Street, you're going to fundamentally love the excitement in your retirement plans brought about by the privatization of Social Security. And Jan in Illinois, I just received my first check last month. After 45 years of working, it's not much, but I need every penny. If there's any chance of privatization, well, I can't take the risk of not having this money. $581 a month isn't much, but it beats the hell out of nothing. If you didn't see your email here, you can go to my blog at CNN.com/Cafferty file. Look for yours there among hundreds of others.
Our viewer outrage segment. Should Social Security be privatized? Here's what you said. Ray, I think it should be privatized so individuals can manage the funds. It would not be rated by political parties to manage cash shortfalls in the budget. All righty. Joining us now is David Rare, business management and politics professor at George Washington University. He supports privatization. Mark Levine, Democratic policy analyst who says the government should keep control. Does not. Mark, start with you. Why is it that Democrats seem to always want the government to run anything? You don't want individuals to have any ownership at all in their retirement. Why is that?
Larry, individuals already have things called 401ks and IRAs. I'm sure you know about them. They're retirement plans. One of the things that you teach, that all Wall Street analysts teach, is you have to diversify your funds. Sure, you want to play in the stock market, that's fine, but have a guaranteed benefit. And this idea that people who retire in 1 year should have twice the benefits of people who retire in the other year because the stock market's up or down doesn't make sense. Social Security is insurance. It's a guarantee. It's a guarantee for old age. It's a guarantee for disability. It's a guarantee if you die and you leave minor children. This is the only guarantee you've got. There used to be a game show called You Bet Your Life.
You're saying it's a guarantee. But hey, David, most people my generation are pretty convinced that there's no chance that that, quote, guarantee is going to be there for them. Isn't that part of the frustration here?
Well, that's right. The market is eventually going to force the privatization of Social Security because of demographic change. The fact that 90% of payroll receipts are paid out immediately to recipients. We just don't have the cash flow to sustain this this program.
And, you know, Mark, I just want to come back to this point. I agree a bit about the insurance, but I want to give people choice so that government doesn't spend my payroll tax revenues that I pay in. There is no Al Gore lockbox. There is not.
That's right,
now,
and there should be.
There never was, and you'll never have it unless
you have an
people can take ownership. That's what I want to ask you. How can you stop government from spending your payroll tax revenues without allowing individuals to own their own accounts? How can you do it?
Well, Al Gore proposed exactly the way. George Bush broke into Al Gore's lockbox and stole all the money, right? Gave it all to the rich people and to unnecessary wars like Iraq. We do need a lockbox. I agree with you on that, Larry. And the thing is, I have to say, Trish, don't worry. Your funds are guaranteed. The Republicans have been trying to destroy Social Security since Alf Landon. They won't succeed as long as the Democrats remain in power.
So why not have an individual lockbox, David, where I know that my money, every dollar I put in, is money that I will someday, when I retire, get back? A real lockbox for every individual.
Right. Well, that's how people originally thought of Social Security in 1935, when the age of death was 65.5 years, and the system, you paid into it till you were 65. Now we've gone up to a life expectancy of 75 years. We're only paying up to 65 years. There's going to be an economic problem there. Furthermore, one way we could solve this problem, Larry, is put the trustees under the same laws that every corporate pension officer has to be under, and you're going to see a lot of changes.
You mean fiduciary?
Absolutely.
ERISA penalties for bad fiduciary management.
Absolutely.
That's why. And Mark, speaking of fiduciary management, look, all right. Stock market hasn't had a bad 10 years, but you could buy.
Sure, it has. The last 10 years.
You can buy.
I've been even.
You can buy FDIC bank deposits. You can buy Ginnie Mae's guaranteed by the government. You can diversify into emerging markets, foreign stocks, China. You're going to get such a lousy rate of return from Social Security. Everybody knows that. So why not allow individuals ownership and choice and responsibility for their own diverse portfolio? Why not?
Because, Larry, if they guess wrong and they put all their shares in Enron and then they end up destitute on the street, you and I as taxpayers are going to have to pay for them,
Mark,
right?
I don't mean to interrupt.
To do it.
But
if
Mark,
you require
my point to you is
benefits,
diversification. Diversification.
Yes. Are you going to require that by law?
Please address that. That's what I'm trying to get.
Are you going to require that by law, Larry? Because if you are, you pretty much got the system you have now.
That's what they did in Chile. Mark, that's what they did in Chile. They did exactly that. So if you were older, you put your money into a private account, and the law required you to select conservative investments.